Well, hello everyone. I've had this lovely Daphne's Diary magazine lying on my table for a few days now, maybe a week or so, and I've been dying to share my thoughts about what I would use various elements of this magazine with you. So I'm not physically going to be making anything this video, but I'm just going to show you how my brain works, because I think that each YouTuber who shares a Daphne's Diary sort of process video has different thoughts. So here are mine. The first thing that I've done when I got my diary was to carefully get my finger between the front cover and the spine so that I could loosen it. So in fact what I have here is a loose spine and all my pages in between, which I have loosened, and I'll explain to you why I do that in a minute. So this gives me the option now, if I wanted to use this whole page as a cover for a book, I could, or I could actually neatly cut this and use one as a cover and one book and that for something else. So it gives me options. I find by actually splitting the book up, if I need to reshuffle things to see how they're going to work, it makes it really easy to do so. So let's just page through and have a look. You'll see that as I start to separate the pages, I've started from the back, and I normally just take 2 pages at a time. The spine is glued in, so it's fairly easy to do. I'd like to be able to get this out easily without tearing it. So I put my finger up against the top here just to hold that down, and then I just gently pull against it. And this means that I've actually got a really nice edge here without having to go in and cut with my scissors. And for this last bit, where I've only got a few pages here and most of the spine is exposed, I'm able just to peel it away as I'm doing now. So by loosening these pages, if I wanted to rearrange them to see what themes I'm picking up in the magazine that I could use, because let's face it, we've all got different preferences, I'm able to play with that. So as we flip through the magazine now, I want you to just have a look at some of the things that would catch my eye. Immediately I can see birds and flowers. This impasto work, this textured work here, shows me that there's a bit of art in this magazine. And one of the things that I really do love about Daphne's Diary is just the lovely watercolor images that she has so often. And then also we've got these lovely ornate borders. And where I see things that are in frames like these, I might well cut out the outside edge of that frame and then cut out the inside and then put an image of my own there to make it much more personal. So I can see bees, I can see flowers, I can see things to do with recipes, things to do with gardens. So already my mind is looking. Oh, and I quite like the text. So the font that they use here is actually really nice. It's almost sort of like a silhouette chalkboard. So perhaps one could cut the words up and use them slightly differently. Nice borders, so borders, things like the lemons, this blue would be really nice to actually add as a strip on a piece of paper. This is not my style in terms of the images that I'd want to necessarily have in a journal of some sort, but I might take out elements. So the orange here is really nice. I might use that as a background for something. I could cut out some of the brickwork, which gives it quite a nice texture. And then obviously this greenery is really nice to have as a mat or a background for something. Again, a nice border here. I like this pattern that I've got down at the bottom. And I like these big sort of ultramarine stripes that we have here. And again, the lemon border. These plates, maybe, I'm not too sure about those. Looks like a nice place to go to, but I have got repeats of this border and I have the images. And if you're ever wanting to see, when you want to cut things out, what's on the other side, whether you're going to be losing something that's really precious, if your pages are separated like this and you hold it up against the window, you are normally able to see through the pages, and then you can decide which pictures you would prefer to keep. So here I've got some drinks recipes. That's rather nice, and I love the watercolor things here. This little dog is really nice, chasing a ball, so that could be a summer's day, or it could be something at the beach. And I've got a few little beachy kind of things here. I've got the lovely sort of leaves, which I could use if I was going beachy, and then obviously these silhouette shell images. So yeah, you could use just sections of this if you wanted to. Here's a little saying, and I'm never parting with this, and that's actually quite nice. You could do something as like a treasure that you want to share. This is rather a nice background just on its own, but I could actually fold this. You know, if I wanted to make a nice journal page, I'd have something on either side. And then you've got the butterflies. So you could either fussy cut the butterflies out, or you could use the pink borders, or just use it as a page to glue down. Then we've got these lovely pages, there are 2 of them, where you've got really nice firm cardboard, and you've got clear lines here as to where you can cut them out. And the beauty is that front and back, it's the same butterfly, and they've been lined up perfectly. How amazing is that? But then you could also use these stripes to add into your journal, and obviously there might be some little background pieces where you could cut out perhaps some circle with a circle punch to make closures for some of your journals. Lavender and flowers here, and other nature. Just got the little ants there. Oh, so here's another theme: picnic, food, checks. So again, some watercolor images which are really nice. One could quite easily use some of this, but I could cut also on the inside of this white border and put a picture of my own. But I think because I'm more inclined to sort of want to go the watercolor route, I might actually just take out some of these watercolor things and use those as part of my design. Quite a nice idea to actually make this little table to go over a picnic basket. I thought that was really clever. Because that's always a problem when you're out on a picnic, isn't it? Where do you put things when your surface is uneven? Again, more sort of watercolor images, repeats of them, which are really nice. A little board game, which is fun. But I love these images. They would go nicely on a plain piece of journal paper, which you could insert into your journal. Or I could actually make pages with these as part of my journal and just insert a few blank pages for journaling in between. Lovely. Now I just love this. I paint in watercolors. That's why I think I just enjoy them so much. So you've got the watercolor strawberries here, which are really nice, but you've also got a lovely recipe for strawberry jam. And then you've got all these little rinky-dinky kitchen things that are done almost in line drawing. So you could use those. Then there's a whole few pages here about beekeeping. And I do know somebody who she and her parents have bees. And I think that this would be lovely to make a journal with that sort of theme for them. Using the flowers, using the bees. There were a couple of images in the front that had bees as well, which might be suitable for a tag. Let me just see if I can find that one quickly. I think it was actually on the first page. Yeah, there's a little bee thing. And then there's odd little bees and butterflies in between. There's another little bee. So I've got quite a few things that I could be able to use these as journal pages and put some plain ones in between. Dressing robes, those are sort of holidays, down at the beach, relaxing. So I've got lovely images here of a real nice summery day. These are a few little stickers which are great. And then you've got lovely travel images and the maps, and again some lovely little watercolor things, so that you could either use parts of these as whole images, or you could fussy cut there. This particular page is lovely because it's got natural foliage, and then it's also got superimposed watercolor foliage, and I love the textures of these green boards and the roofs there. Just really charming, just to add something a little bit different. Very gentle, tranquil setting. And then here again too, we've got lovely images with nice details. So if I was to use this image, I perhaps would cut around and then give a border of green all the way around there. It's got this lovely little white sort of detail on the inside. So I think what I might do is just trim the inside edge and then superimpose from the back just an image of my own to make it more personal. Yeah, I love the pinks here, the roses, the little pink teapots. That gives you a lot of options. And then also here you've got lovely borders around the edges too, which you could incorporate. So you could either use things as whole images, maybe fold that as a page, which would give you 2 sides there, or you could actually fussy cut. Again, with the yellows, you could do that sort of thing. Yeah, it's interesting if you're looking for things for men, because it's not always easy to find images for men. I've got the lovely brickwork here, which is a nice pattern. I've got paint brushes, wood, little wooden car. I could fussy cut that out. Some sort of tool things. I've got jigsaws, which are really nice. I could cut those little things out again. More brickwork. So lovely images that I would put aside certainly for a man if I needed to make them a journal. And I just love these little tiny images of Daphne's Diary because I think that those would make wonderful stamps just on an image. Then we've got this little bingo game, which I've got in that size, and then also these tiny little images, so you could play around with those. And a fun little watercolor car. I really think you probably had a lovely holiday in that. Maybe not a holiday where everything went right, but certainly a holiday with lots of memories. So that one would be something for me. I would probably sacrifice these pictures to have that little car, but I would be able to still save some of this water background. And then I've got these lovely shells. And this sort of spotty pattern repeats on a couple of pages, so that actually works for me, and so do the starfish. And then these little houses, I think I would probably fussy cut out, and I would be able to use those for various projects. Moving on to different things, you could again cut out these images from the center and maybe make different tags with those. You could put a piece of vellum in and maybe put some perhaps an embroidery sample that you actually have from an old tray cloth that's now frayed and tattered behind there, just as a way to preserve it in a journal. I think that would be rather fun. And then you've got layers and layers here with a nice banner that you could use as well, and your little cotton reels. You've got 2 of those there, which is great. And then we've got all the recipes, lovely backgrounds here as well, so if somebody is a cook you could use them, but you've also got lovely colors, and you could certainly pick out the colors for use elsewhere. And then we've got, okay, that's just more recipes. I like these images of camping because I think most families have a holiday story somewhere, so whether you use them with tents or whether you just use certain parts like the picnic things, I think that there's a lot here that you could actually use. Just even some of these little wording that they have here, like fly a kite together, hire a pedal boat for the day. They could be rather nice things for a wish jar or a wish pocket. We've got sea sand and walking boots, nice leisurely days, lovely things to do with camping. And remember, maps are always a good thing to have. I love the images here with these camping images and the little backpack. Those are really nice. I think I would fussy cut those. Sorry, am I out of frame here? Let me just move my magazine up a little bit. And then I love this image. It's with the birds. I think I would try and want to keep these as whole pages. Perhaps for somebody that's a garden lover, I might actually fold it each page in half because I think that that would fold quite easily. But somebody for a garden lover would be great. Love the fruit, love the orange designs here. More cotton reels, more shells, lots of potential. And the same thing here, fruit and shells. I don't really have anything on this page that speaks to me at all, so I'm happy to sacrifice that page and not do it. This is an interesting page because this is a slightly thicker card, and then it's got little sort of serrated edges here where you could pop these recipe cards out, but it does have rather a pretty border on both sides. So if you pop these cards out, you would be able to insert something else from behind, or maybe just make journal cards of some sort. Just look quite nice just to even go as a photo frame in a photo, yeah, in a frame for the wall, maybe in a scrapbook album. This is designed to be made up into a fan, but again you could use pieces of that for other projects. It is serrated here so that you'll see that you're able to pop that out quite easily, but you have a background paper there as well. And here again, looking at nice colors, great. So inside most of these Daphne's diaries you'll get these posters, and this one's a sea life poster which has got all sorts of things, whales and fish and things. So I took it out and I opened it and I folded it, and I think I've actually got, with the bottom half here, rather a nice cover for somebody who likes the beach and the sea. And then if I used the top and I folded that in half, I would have a very nice image of a dolphin with a little jellyfish and fish there. So I think I've got potential in that one. Love the quirky little character there. And use the fonts and things here, maybe even just as backgrounds. They add interesting dimensions. I like this text very much. I like these textures in the leaves, so I think I would use the texts, maybe not as a whole image, but cut them up and use perhaps some of the lettering for various projects that I'm working on. Again, soft green colors, really nice. Mocktails for somebody perhaps who was doing the picnic, or perhaps for somebody who was going on holiday. I could incorporate that with one of the travel things, because you always want to try new things. Not a lot that talks to me on here that I would use for journals, maybe just that silhouette and maybe some of that texture paper. Same with these pages, I could skip through. Nice fun colourful things, so you could either add these pages in with recipes, you could do something with a cocktail page to make it fun, and then I like these little things. So I have a feeling that if I actually had to join two of these together and then cover one of those little plastic flower pots with it, it would work quite nicely, but it would mean that half the pot would be one design and half the other, and on the back they're yet another design. So it depends what tickles your fancy, but this is quite a nice firm card, and you would be able to get something that supports us really nicely. Maybe too special just for ice creams. Lovely roses that would tie in with that earlier theme with the pinks and the little teapots. Journals. And then these would go with that nice sort of beachy, travel-y kind of theme, where you've actually got something that you can even colour in on your holiday. So I've got themes to do with bees, themes to do with flowers, themes to do with holidays and travel. I've got themes to do with fruit and cocktails. Quite a lot of things here. These are quite nice borders that I could use, and again nicely printed so that you can actually cut them out easily. And then the last few pages are just lovely background colors, which I could use for a holiday background too. So I hope this gives you some idea of where my brain is going, and watch out for the next videos, because I'm going to be doing some actual working with these things and making some fun journals. I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 quick journals where the simple stitching is going to bind them together, and then I'll show you some other embellishments and tricks I have up my sleeve. Bye for now.